Jabari Smith hasn't had the best start to his NBA career, to say the least. The numbers aren't good, to put it bluntly, and the tape hasn't been great either. However, defining an NBA player off the first 11 games they play in their NBA career is pretty ridiculous. I'm not going to name names, but the idea of backtracking on your pre-draft evaluation of a player 11 games into their rookie season really tells me that I shouldn't take your draft opinion that seriously. I'm not worried about the slow start to the season for Jabari Smith Jr. at all, because at the end of the day, it's all about the process. I think it goes without saying that it's way too early to make any judgment on Jabari Smith based off the struggles he's had as a rookie. This is a 19-year-old who's played in 11 NBA games so far. He's played more games over the course of about 21 days than he did in well over a month last season as a freshman in college at Auburn. It's a tough adjustment to make for any player. It's over double the amount of games on the schedule that they've ever had to adjust to. It's the most minutes they've ever played in games, so the idea of a 19-year-old having struggles adjusting to that is very understandable. On top of that, his struggles were to be expected based off his play style. I think the fact that people thought he was going to be the number 1 overall pick warped the idea of what he was as a player compared to the reality of what he is as a player. Being projected as the first overall pick means that people are going to assume you have franchise-changing upside and superstar potential. And while it's very possible that Jabari Smith can be one of those players in the future, what he actually is as a player now is not that, and based off his skill set, that's not what he projects to be. And that's okay. Not everyone is going to be the franchise player. I'm not saying Jabari can't be a great player either. The baseline skill set is still something I believe is among the most high floor in the class. I still see the signs of a 6'10" elite shooter that can be a great two-way player, and those players don't grow on trees. If anything, his defense has been the most impressive part of the start to his career in the NBA. He's been a really good point of attack defender in my opinion, and his struggles are things that I think can naturally just improve. Anyone who actually watched him play at Auburn knew he wasn't going to be a good self-creator or a finisher around the basket. He's always been a jump shot reliable player. It just so happens to be that the shots aren't falling right now. And to be honest, I'm not worried about it because the shots will eventually start to fall. He's just missing shots he usually hits, which happens sometimes, especially as a 19-year-old in the NBA. Has the fact that he's not hitting his jumpers severely hurt his efficiency at the start? Yes, absolutely. But also at the same time, like I've been saying, the shots will start to fall eventually, because it's not like he's doing anything out of the ordinary that I know he's not capable of. Everything he's doing, he's very capable of, the shots just aren't falling. And he has shown that he can have good performances, like the 21-point game on 60% from the field against the Utah Jazz. On top of that, he still has shown the confidence to take jumpers, and his free throw percentage is pretty good despite having a low free throw attempt rate, which leads to much less room for error when it comes to efficiency results from a make and miss perspective. At 19 years old, these are signs you look for in a player with a jump shot oriented game when they have a shooting slump. And I expect Jabari Smith to eventually break out of this shooting slump sooner rather than later. Another thing that needs to be taken into account is the Rockets don't have a real lead playmaker that someone like Jabari can play off of, which I do think is important for a player that plays the way that Jabari does. KPJ has tried his best, but he's just not a point guard, and I think that they need to stop trying to do that experiment. And I do see times where Jabari can work off of Jalen Green scoring gravity, but at the end of the day, Jalen Green is a primary scorer, not a primary playmaker, so I don't think that long term it can be the main way that Jabari works off of others on the team. Maybe Ty Washington is that guy long term that can set up his teammates, or they find that player in the draft, but finding a point guard is something that will be important for Houston, not only for the team in general, but also someone that can set up their number 3 overall pick and help that number 3 overall pick be utilized to his fullest potential. So there are many factors that go into Jabari Smith's early season struggles, to say the least. Adjusting to a whole new basketball schedule in his life, one that's very different than just about any other basketball schedule he's had in his life. The shots just not falling, shots that usually do fall for him. The fit on a team taking time to figure itself out, plus the lack of a real point guard that would really help Jabari in many cases. His flaws as a player, and just being 19 years old in the best league in the world. And I would not be worried about these things long term if I was a Houston Rockets fan. If we judge Stephen Curry and James Harden off their first 10 NBA games when they were rookies, we would be saying the Oklahoma City Thunder and Golden State Warriors messed up by passing up on Brandon Jennings to take them. So just be patient and give it time. I know it's less than ideal to see your top 3 picks shoot 30% from the field, but he's not the first and he won't be the last player to struggle to adjust to the NBA at 19 years old. And I've seen plenty of players enter the league, some older, some younger than Jabari Smith is now, and they also have struggled early on. And they also just turned it around and became really good NBA players and had really good careers. Jabari's struggles should not come as a surprise to anyone who actually watched him play at Auburn based off his skill set and the flaws in his game. This was always a very possible outcome for him to have a slow start to his career like he has. Other things you can take away from this slow start and call them flaws and areas he needs to improve on? Yes. Is acting like he has no hope, can't live up to the top 3 billinger, can't live up to the evaluation that had him as the number 1 player on your board because of the first 11 games of his career, right? Absolutely not. I have confidence that Jabari will figure this out because I have seen him improve so much over the years. Players naturally improve over the years, especially guys with NBA potential. But to see where Jabari was as a junior in high school to now is incredible. Simply put, the improvements he's made over the past 4 or 5 years have been outlier good. He's gone from a player that I thought was severely overranked as a junior in high school to someone I thought was a top 10 guy in his recruiting class as a senior to someone who I thought was a consensus top 5 player in his draft class. And that's a testament to the work he put in to improve as a player, which is why I'm so confident that he will figure this out sooner rather than later. He's a 6'10", 19-year-old with a great motor and a skill set that fits the modern NBA, who has problems in his game that do need to be fixed, but those problems are ones that are fixable, and I still see the baseline for him being a good NBA player, maybe even a great NBA player. 6'10" players that can be great point of attack defenders and among the best shooters in basketball don't grow on trees. And that's the player that Jabari Smith can be in the NBA. And a player that good is a player that will be an all-star. And I do think that Jabari has all-star potential. He's going to be a good NBA player. It's hard to bet against what he has as a player, even with the slow start to this season. But I would love to hear your thoughts on Jabari Smith in the comment section below. Do you think that the signs are worrying? Do you think that this is just a cold start? Do you think he'll eventually figure it out? Do you think that he will eventually just get back to what people thought he could be in his rookie year and be like a Rookie of the Year candidate? I would love to hear all of that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for making it to this point in the video, and thank you for the support on the channel recently. I've seen a lot more support than usual over the past few weeks, and I can't thank you guys enough for supporting the work that I put in on this channel, and I really appreciate each and every one of you for showing the support that you have. But with that being said, have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.